We've been discussing the secret to successful political fundraising. In the previous episode, we discussed 3 pitfalls of the vocal channel, which inhibit our ability to lead and present a good message. And now a great practical tip. Welcome to PA Voter Information Network. This is Larry DeMarco, your host. Are you anxious about this upcoming election season? Well, I have a cure. Just click the subscription button on my YouTube channel and all your opponents are guaranteed bad luck. This video will be a little different from the previous videos. If you haven't watched the first 3 of the series, go back and watch them first. Once you are ready, be prepared to participate, not just listen. Keep your finger near the pause button so you can follow Dr. Sicola's instructions.
Now that we've looked at the 3 main messaging channels that create your leadership voice, I'd like to do an activity with you to demonstrate how the smallest details can make the biggest impact in speaking to lead. Will you play with me? Yes. All right, in case you didn't answer, you're playing anyway. Just letting you know. And I used to teach high school, by the way, so it doesn't matter where you sit, I will find you and you will participate. For starters, given how many calls people receive soliciting donations, and how many people you meet networking and fundraising at different events, what's going to make you stand out from the rest? Most importantly, right off the bat, you have to make a strong, positive, and lasting first impression. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing that you say when you introduce yourself to someone is your name. But when you do that, are you memorable? By show of hands, how many people would say, let's be euphemistic, you could be better at remembering names? General human condition, yes. Well, today's your lucky day, because I'm going to absolve you of half of that guilt. Because the fact is that when most people introduce themselves to you, they pronounce their own names wrong. What I mean by that is that they pronounce their names in a way that actively makes it more difficult for your brain to process and retain what they've said. But I only absolve you of half of that guilt because on the other half of the conversation, you do the same thing to them. You introduce yourselves to them and you pronounce your name in a way that makes it harder for them to remember who you are. So let's look at why this happens and how to fix it. 3 key mistakes that make you and your name not memorable. Mistake number 1 is speed. You say your name way too fast and you just assume that they should be able to get it the first time you say it. Or, on the other hand, if you have a particularly long or complicated name, you just assume they're hopeless and they'll never get it anyway, so you give up. But whether your name is 17 syllables long or 2 syllables, like Ann Smith, even when it's simple, it's not predictable. So if you say, hi, this is Laura Sicola, by the time they even realize you're talking, they totally missed what you said. So you have to slow it down enough to make sure that people catch it, which will probably feel unnaturally slow to you, but it will not sound slow to them. Second, mistake number 2 is rhythm. You don't have any. Most people blur their entire name together as if it's one big word, often combined with the name of the organization. Hi, this is Laura Sicola of Vocal Impact Productions. I have no idea if there was a name, a company, something other, a state capital, a birthday. I'm not really sure what that was. If there was a name in there, I don't know if there were 2 pieces, 3 pieces, a hyphenated name, a middle name, no idea what I just heard. So we need to not only slow it down, but we need to break the names into their components so we understand how many parts there were. Mistake number 3 is tonality, the highs and the lows in your pitch. Nowadays, most people tend to introduce themselves like they're asking a question. Hi, I'm Laura Sicola with Vocal Impact Productions. Like, I think? Well, are you asking me or telling me? Because if you're not sure or don't sound confident in who you are, why should I bother trying to remember? None of this is effective in ensuring that people understand and remember who you are. So that's why I want to show you a new way to say your name so that it's easy to understand and remember in person or on the phone. And then we're going to do a practice activity. Ready? Okay. So remembering those 3 rules, slowing things down to begin with. When you say your first name, you want your pitch to go up. It's like saying, I'm not done yet. So everybody hum that with me. Again, Okay. Then at the top, you're going to have a little tiny pause. That little break in sound acts as a word boundary and lets people know, okay, data point number 1 has been received, prepare to receive data point number 2. Then on your last name, your pitch is going to fall. It's like saying, and now I'm done. There's your little vocal period. Everybody hum that with me. Again, So your regular pattern is break, Remember, put that break in the middle. Now, if you've got a middle name or a hyphenated last name, it's up, hold, and down. Up, hold, and down, making sure there are those breaks in between each piece. So when I introduce myself, I'll say that my name is Laura Sicola. Laura Sicola. Say it with me. Laura Sicola. The ego boost is completely coincidental, I swear. Now it's your turn. All at the same time, I want everyone to say their own name 3 times following this pattern. This is your warm-up. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Again. One more time. All right, shake that out. Good job, good start. Does anybody think their name does not work? There's always one person who's like, yeah, mine doesn't work, it's broken. No? All right. So here's what you're going to do. In a moment, I'm going to set you free, and you're going to stay more or less in your general vicinity, but I want you to introduce yourselves to 2, maximum 3 people whose full names you do not know. And you're going to use this exchange. The first person is going to introduce him or herself and say, hi, I'm Laura Sicola, or whatever your name happens to be. Following the pattern, watch your speed, watch your volume, intonation, breaks, etc. The second person is going to repeat and confirm what they heard. All they have to say is, you said Laura Sicola, right? And you need to add that right on the end. I'll explain it in a minute. However, what you will not do is this. Hi, I'm Laura Sicola. You said Laura Sicola with those inflected questions. And that's why you need to say the word right at the end of that second line, because this is a confirmation check. You are verifying that you understood correctly, but part of the blind spot is that we don't realize when our voice subconsciously has that upward inflection. So I want you to be mindful of when you want to ask a question, ask the question. Verbalize the question. Don't just let your voice subconsciously do it for you. It's a habit that we need to break. So you have to ask the word right, or else your brain will naturally inflect it. I want you to learn to control that.
Here's where the group breaks. We are not at this conference, so we can't practice with the others. Instead, what you're going to do is pause the video and record yourself 3 times. Have a conversation with yourself, and then listen to the recording. The tape recording will act as your partner, so go right ahead. So do that introduction, respond to yourself, ask the question, and then confirm the introduction. Play it back until you are sure you get it. Do it at least 3 times until you've got it down. And once you played it back and you're satisfied, hit play and go back to the video and continue.
First, raise your hand if it just felt weird to say your name this way. Okay, that's totally normal because we're so used to saying our names in a certain way that we literally have to retrain the muscles in our vocal tract in order to be able to change the sound. It's kind of like learning to eat again, but by using your fork in the other hand. It just feels weird, even though it's the same action. So the answer to the first question is yes, with practice, it will become second nature to say it this way. Second, and more importantly, the answer to the question that's really nagging at you, again, is yes, with practice, you will eventually be able to do it this new way without doing this. All right, but more seriously, let's debrief. How many of you, when your partner used this pattern, could understand their name clearly? That's the key. And when you used the pattern, how many of the other people were able to repeat your name back to you more accurately? This is the one thing, of all the things that I teach, that people make a direct effort to come back and tell me what a massive difference it has made. That they don't have to repeat themselves on the phone 5 times and all sorts of other little details that get in the way of starting that relationship. But beyond the name, what's the implication? The point is that if changing little details in your vocal delivery can have such an impact on something as simple as your name, imagine the influence that you could have if you were that deliberate and strategic in delivering your message every time you opened your mouth. When your message is crystal clear, your story is relatable, and your vocal and visual delivery drive it home, you will have mastered the 3 C's of vocal executive presence and be able to command the room, connect with the audience, and close the deal.
You've not only learned about political fundraising, but any type of fundraising. This has been part 4 of a 4-part series, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've liked this episode, please subscribe, click the like button, and forward it to some friends who you think would enjoy this too. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified of other great videos just like this one. Signing off, tune in next time. Bye for now.